Faction 2 improved.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, welcome back to the T.O.A Podcast. I am your host, as always, Onvermel. I am the only host, the one and only, the purple-loving me. Today I'm gathered by both my brothers today. On to my left we have Ek. Ek, would you like to say anything? Hi, greetings?
No, not today.
Alright, and to my right we have Ktail. Welcome back, Ktail. It's been a while.
Yeah, it's a pleasure to be here. And tell the people, I am not him, just so you are aware.
I'm pretty sure people can tell the difference of a voice or a speaking pattern.
Well, you said you're me. Well, I'm not
I
you.
am me. Yes, I'm always me.
I am also me.
No, you're you. I am me.
I want to be I.
Then only in certain contexts are you I. Only referring to other people listing stuff.
Well, you can just refer to myself as myself.
No, I only refer to myself as that. But today's topic, is going to be a bit more appropriate for the title of this podcast. I want to talk about just TOA in general in Bionicle, because as of late, I've been, I've actually been making some TOA mocks, updating some other TOA mocks, and I think anyone in Bionicle fandom who knows all the different elements of TOA and their color combinations can probably come to the same idea and conclusion that some of it's kind of dumb. One of my main example I'm going out is TOA of Sonic. Now, I understand. So, TOA Sonic are dark gray and black. TOA of Earth are black and dark gray. There's a very fine line when it's like, where does the line change?
There is a subtle yet important difference here.
And you could say eye color too, depending how consistent that is with your TOA.
This is why I've taken a leave of absence and tend to chuck mine full with a bit of silver.
Actually, we've all done that. But the reason, I understand why it is, because also the model of Krakua is, the reason for that, because, a fan created a TOA. He was given the TOA, I can't remember, did the creation, when was that contest for? Because Krakua only showed up in Time Trap, I think, in 2005.
I think the prize was to have an appearance in one of those
So basically, you got to
stories.
make a made-up TOA, and then Greg made a story around him. Okay, Greg, why'd you make him a TOA of Sonic? You clearly saw the color was black and gray.
It might have been the creator's decision, here's a TOA of Sonic with a mask of telepathy that looks like a HOW. I think that was, create a character and you get it put in a story.
Okay, that's fair. Which is another thing. Krakua not only has made TOA Sonic canonically have a color that's almost identical to Earth, but the one guy who has it has a mask that's a HOW. That's actually another one, which is opened a whole other can of worms. However, I will say this: if masks can have different shapes, it does explain why the TOA Metru weren't sure what masks they had. Because they're like, well, it could be any shape, despite them actually having them.
Despite one of them being a mask maker.
But, yes, you would think. But, and maybe Bionicles just, always generally use the same shape just to make it easier. But you can make them in any shape you want. But, yeah, Vakama's an idiot.
I choose not to believe that, but I understand, where the creator was coming from.
And then, so, that color specifically has always bothered me. But then if you throw in magnetism, well, they're basically gunmetal gray, black, and other shades of gray, which are very similar to TOA Earth and Sonic.
So, black and dark gray again.
Pretty close, and it's just
Just shinier.
especially you have them, and those three colors all kind of just morph together as one. You're just like, well, this is getting a little ridiculous, and this is wow.
At this point, we should just, you don't have to follow what's pre-established as the go-to real, whatever colors.
The
The canon colors, yes.
We don't have to. With Sonic specifically, as Ktail was mentioning, we put silver. Not so much a dabble, but basically more swapped out dark gray for silver. Not only because silver isn't a color that anyone's used, but it distinguishes them from the others.
It works pretty well, I would have to say.
But also still keeping the black in there. But I had a train of thought. It was chugging along, good on the track, then I derailed for a second.
We're still boarding at the station.
No, I think we left the station. But with that one, I do remember, I think before all the elements had a set color. I think it was probably back in 2006 or earlier days. Because I remember Lightning before I think Nicola is her name?
Yes.
Before I think Nicola had a picture, I think Lightning was technically yellow, right?
I can confirm that. I made Lesvig's whole team, which
Yeah.
had a confirmed element. And I remember learning gravity was gray with purple.
Right, yes.
And lightning was yellow.
Which, it's weird. Is like, I'm not sure if that was just kind of like confirmed and then Greg retconned it, but because like gravity has no reason that it needed to change yet.
I don't think those colors were confirmed. They're just what the fans kind of agreed upon.
I think that's more likely just because yellow is a color that wasn't used, and lightning, light, yellow.
That should be the color, not blue and white, which is the color of a TOA water in some instances.
Oh yeah, that's true. Although, in fairness to Hallie,
There's also a TOA of ice.
I was going to say, she actually has lightning in her power because of the red star, so she kind of fits the color.
Something I think we rarely utilize in our games.
I kind of forgot about that fact.
Hallie and Matoro are on the same team, and they're both blue and white.
Yes, but the white is very noticeably white, so that's not too bad. Which that's a whole. Actually, Nika I can have a whole other discussion about with their color schemes. But I know why they probably cut out lightning from being yellow because Huki was yellow in Nika one off time, but then the Mari was yellow, and it's just like, okay, fine, yellow's stone down as well. See,
I still have gripes with that.
See, that's rude. All these, some, Sonic and Earth have to share colors, while Stone gets, 3 colors. They get, yellows, they get tans and browns. They can have orange now if they wanted. Which, I know why that is, but you're going to say something.
Yeah, Poatu went from TOA Stone to a TOA of Yellow to a TOA of Fire, basically.
Yes. A fire in the air. A TOA Stone that could fly with the fire in the air.
Hot air, Paul, hot air.
It's kind of plasma looking, too, with all that orange.
At least Plasma, because they have white and orange, there's nothing else of that color scheme. So they work really well. Funny thing about Poatu being orange, I think I know why they made him orange and not yellow like Huki. I was on the BZ Power message boards on a conversation about why the Masquelite chose the body it did or the color, and also I came with a theory for why that was, but I was also thinking I think that's the reason why Poatu's set is orange because they wanted yellow for the TOA Ignica, but they didn't want Poatu the same color. They wanted the TOA Ignica to be unique, so they're like, well, we don't want to give him brown or tan, so we can give him orange. Why not? It's kind of close to key to orange.
It's a good theory for sure.
I mean, it's eye-catching as well. It's a nice looking color combo. It just sucks as a TOA of Stone.
Why can't we just get a gold TOA Ignica?
Because at that point, Lego wasn't producing as much gold. I think it was still more expensive. This is pre-2009, or I think it's 2010s when gold just exploded everywhere. Bonkel still, outside of Brutaga, they really didn't use much gold. But, so yeah, no, TOA Lightning used to be yellow. Gravity used to be light gray and purple. Now, as you can tell by your lovely host, it is a purple and black. Now, and I think, I kind of feel like before Lightning was blue and white, something else was kind of supposed to be blue and white. I think Sonic, at least, I don't know, because I remember when you made Lesvic's Team Zacta, you had a TOA that was blue and white, which I think was technically supposed to be the Sonic. So I don't know what, that's weird, right?
I don't think there was a white and blue one in the group. Let's see, there was Stone, there was a Gravity and a Magnetism, but neither of them are blue. I don't know. I'll have to look at my old picture.
See, I just remember there being some confusion about that. Although this was always only been my issue. Because when I made my first made-up TOA, it was blue and white. So I made it a TOA of Sonic, which I believe, I was confused. I thought that was a TOA Sonic's color. Then I realized that was actually Lightning's color. So I turned it into a Lightning, which means the person went from a guy to a girl. And then I decided I'm just going to make it a TOA Water. So we went from a guy being a TOA Sonic into a TOA Lightning, who then turned into a TOA Water. This one TOA had and through all 3 stages, she never had a name.
Identity crisis.
A little bit.
Or lack thereof.
Crisis on Infinite Earth. So, I do remember there being some inconsistencies, which I'm kind of just, because I remember BZ Power, I guess Biosector 1, I could have sworn was when we figured out these colors, so I don't know.
I can confirm that is where we figured out colors, but like I said earlier, I think it was just the fans decided, let's use yellow for Lightning.
But the thing is, Biosector 1 is typically really good at only basically showing canon style, or maybe they basically cracked down harder and they decided to be a bit, not have as much fan speculation or whatnot. Ooh.
Greg, the founder of Canon in Bionicle, could have said it was yellow, but when Nicola's contest came out and it was blue and white, that could have been retconned.
I'm pretty sure that's when it was retconned, but I'm gosh darn it, you fan creation. Stop using colors that ruin everything. It's like, come on. Like, don't get, I love Kukura's the model for Kukura. I love the image of Nicola, but you guys have screwed over. I mean, lightning being black, blue, and white is well enough because like if you do it right, it doesn't look like a toe of water or ice too bad, and he's like usually get away with it. But toe of lightning, I think being yellow would have been better, especially just because you could have just retconned saying Hookie being yellow was kind of just a fluke. Because like, oops a daisy, I don't know, it's yellow here now. Oh, who knows? Well, at least not my fault.
He was zapped by a star. Weird things happen.
The Inika themselves just had like all slightly different color schemes. Because like before that, you never basically they were the first TOA to really have double colors that like or added colors. Because like typically TOA water were only blue. TOA ice were only white with like gray. They never had like other like blues or whites thrown in, and then also your Hookie's its own problem.
Honestly, if you think of the yellow more as a tan, he's kind of more like Hafu's color scheme.
I mean, that's true, but now I just realized that Hallie also turned into a blue and green when she went underwater, which is the TOA color of plant control.
I knew her color was something else, but it wasn't coming to mind when I was saying that she was a TOA lightning before.
You know, it's weird. Like the whole time, it never felt weird that she had green. And yet, but I think I know why. When I think underwater, I see blue and green seaweed. It felt natural because she's a TOA water underwater. Like, there's no. But now that I think, I'm like, hey, she's just technically a plant control color. And I'm like, well, that's cheap.
That occurred to me when I made my TOA plant control for Lecon's team. We're using dark blue and lime. Like, this looks like wait a minute, Hallie's just a TOA plant control now.
We've been here before.
I'm pretty sure a plant control TOA should be heavier on the green. Anyways, in my opinion.
Oh, definitely. I also think that TOA plant control, you know, have green is like having a nice turquoise or teal in there mixed in. Like more shades of greens and blues, I think is good for them because the more shades is more like the diversity of nature. And actually, camel's really good. So I think plant control for the most. I mean, let's be honest. I don't think plant control even was a canonical element for quite a while. And what annoys me, it's not called the element of plant control. I mean, that does sound a little bit weird. It's the green. It's green.
Green.
Basically,
not to be confused with Green Gobbler.
So it's just like
Sorry,
I don't really like how the term the green sounds compared to like, you know, you have gravity, fire, plant. Like plants. Just call them the TOA plants. I mean, that also sounds kind of dumb.
Even just the TOA of jungle sounds a little bit better than the TOA of green, because that guy could also be the TOA of black, and he's the TOA of brown.
I mean, Gen 2 did kind of fix that, like because Lee was the master of jungle, which, you know what, that's kind of fair. That is kind of fair.
Don't get me started on that.
Oh, that could be a whole conversation for a whole another day. No. Lee was TOA of air. That's Leiwa. Don't you know? Leiwa's a TOA of the green.
It's Leiwa, master of jungle.
Or how did Christian favorite pronounce it? Leiwa? Leiwa? He says Leiwa, but with like a certain like flair of an accent that I can't replicate. And I'm like, which is, I do love it. Like everybody says Leiwa is totally different, but yeah, no. So it's like, actually, I think now that I think about it, like Sonic, lightning, and magnetism were all their color palettes of the TOA are all birthed from characters you actually see their color, because Joven, a combo model between Hookie, Hallie, and Nupuri Nika, basically made a combo model to make Joven, who was predominantly metallic black with black and like gray. So that's why magnetism, which is their color.
A bunch of dull, boring colors.
Luckily enough, because the gunmetal is like a very prominent color, it's distinct enough from Earth and Sonic, but it's not enough that I'm like, I don't know. It does that one bothers me still.
They might have dull colors, but at least there's a very magnetic personality.
Never again. No more puns, or you will pay the price of everything.
3 weeks without on the podcast.
He's been off a little bit. And, you know, of course, canonically, there technically are TOA of Shadow. Possible TOA of Shadow. It's not like,
under the
which
right
also,
circumstances,
you know, black and red. But it's like a light. There's only one TOA of light. Technically, the only TOA of Shadow are just other Takanos from other universes. You know, the only TOA of light and Shadow are all Takano. Like, he's like coining the mockery on 2 different elements. Although, you know, Shadow being black and red, I don't think anyone was going to argue that at all.
Wait, they're black and red? I
And-
actually thought they were black.
TOA of Shadow?
Yeah.
I believe canonically that like the Shadow Matorn, I think canonically colors are technically supposed to be black and red. I'm pretty sure about this.
The darkest red.
I mean, that is
The
much
dark
just-
red, with a dark personality, with dark thoughts, living in a dark cave, always wearing dark black.
Dark black isn't a thing. There's just black.
Well, how am I supposed to know? Do I look like a professor?
You don't want me to answer that.
I don't look like a professor. See, I'm so glad I could weasel that bit in here. And hey, actually they'll do Dark Callan's voice there a fair bit. Oh yes, Dark Callan. That's a thing. Nobody question that.
A thing that might get explained someday.
I mean, if you go
you
through
like
the
to
if you
watch
go through the
channels,
videos
you
of the
might
channel, there are videos that kind of have a minute, so you'd figure some parts of it, but not really enough.
He's there, but he's not explained.
As it should be.
Okay, but going out of here, Dark
Yes,
Callan.
let's get
Okay,
onto it.
but no. Also, so one thing that like I also with TOA that I do find, kind of that I kind of get annoyed about is like whether or not TOA forcibly give up their TOA energy, like when they've quote unquote completed their destiny, or it's more like I kind of feel like I completed my destiny. Here's a post TOA stone kid.
The putting your power into a TOA stone and basically draining yourself into
That's
a Traga,
fine.
I can get behind that. But you've completed your destiny. Does that mean like I could become a Traga now, or is it just actually I've completed? Do I want to be a TOA anymore? Nah. Oh look, I'm shrunken.
I feel like it's a society say, hey, you completed your destiny. Now, time to fork over to the next generation. Your
Time to
retirement.
forcibly retire.
Basically, like I do wonder is like could a TOA postpone being Traga like on or eventually like would their essentially programming kick in where it's like nope you gotta. I feel like my guess. No, actually, just think about it now. I feel like before the Great Cataclysm, eventually you'd be forced to do it. Like your programming would kick in. Like Mad Nui basically would essentially override you. But since the Great Cataclysm, everybody's got a bit more free will and all that, and I feel like those days is a bit more
Those days are over.
basically now TOA can basically choose if they want to give it up. But I have my own gripes with that and personal headcanon.
Some
But
things I just
this is
choose
where
not to
sometimes
follow.
it's like, Greg, don't explain it, please. Don't explain it.
There are things that can be left up to the fan to decide for themselves.
Like love being in canon. But
That's
love
not
being
canon. Greg said so.
Greg's mean.
See, well, I feel like it should be canon because it's shown in one of the earliest, media forms. I actually think I have to agree with you, someone I've talked to, or maybe probably you people, that, it is kind of a earthy aspect that doesn't actually belong in the Bionicle universe. It makes it feel too human when you want Bionicle.
Plus, love being canon does get really confusing once you have Matorn turn to TOA and then Matorn. It's like, okay, how does that work? It's
Think
that's
of it
something
as a
that should have been
pedophile.
left never said. Like, honestly, Greg should just have never said anything about that.
Greg took the old to love.
He snipped it out.
Ugh,
He snipped it out. How horrible.
just like the priest of old.
Also, what I'm also kind of curious, actually, think about TOA too, like with their ability, like only the
TOA
TOA,
two, yeah.
only the TOA Mata are ever shown to make TOA Kta. And we don't know, as long as there's 6 different, or there's like 3 different TOA, you can make a TOA Kta as long as like they have a combined spirit or will or whatever.
all okay with
And now I'm
spirit.
wondering, okay, you got the Ktail Wisdom and Ktail Valor. Does like every combination between 3 colors have one, or can like the TOA Mata only make the 2? I'm assuming they can only make the 2.
Or maybe it's just like rolling the dice, what will we get this time? They only did it twice.
Yeah, the Nuba did it, but it was the same 3, so they never tried. I'm like, could a TOA Metra do it? Would it be a different color combo? Would it be a TOA of Kta of Bravery?
Well, if you mix stone, air, and fire, you get the bad punter.
Well, if you mix stone, water, and dirt, you kind of just get mud. Mud. But
Don't mix plasma and fire. You just get like, it's just too hot to handle.
you can't even handle it.
That is the Kta of Chad.
And there's a reason why fire and water never mix.
Needless to say, there's a lot of like inconsistencies with TOA. Like let's be honest, the Bionicle canon is messy. And the TOA as like a quote unquote species or like society like has very much suffered because let's be honest, the TOA mata are very because like also first off the TOA mata were never like once you explain that TOA come from Matoran, then you say but except the TOA mata they were never Matoran because and maybe Hellerix,
They have to be awesome.
but it's just like one of those things that's like okay, and it's like okay, and then TOA they get a bunch of they can have 6 max making a gold one. What about the TOA? Nah, they don't get that. And like they can make TOA Ktail. Nah, the rest can't. And then you got like all these different like it's like oh his mask looks different. Yeah, well that's special. There's a lot of just like these little things and then like wow my brain just beep, flatlined with the thought there like it was gone. Dang. Give it a second. Silence in the video. I
How about we just board a new train and just talk about powers of TOA? Because plasma and fire, they're basically the same thing.
okay.
Except one's just a little more taking the notch up to 11 sort of thing.
Though, if you ask a scientist, a plasma is a state of matter, not necessarily
Energy conversion.
Well, it's just like the thing is there's like solids, liquids, and gases and plasmas. If I'm correct, I really hope I'm correct, but I'm pretty sure a plasma state is just a fourth state of matter, which I believe that molecules are more similar to a gas, but they can have electric charge go through it. I only know very bits and pieces. I could be wrong completely. Please, no one roast me.
You want a problem with powers? Look at the original 6: Earth and Stone. Anua controls everything. Puati can only control the real big rocks.
Yeah, he controls the big rocks. The new one controls all the little loose ones. I mean,
Everything.
don't get me wrong. That's kind of stupid. That's as much as I love the original 6. It does
Don't
kind of
think
make you
about it
scratch
too
your
hard.
head.
So what you're saying is there should also be a TOA of sand.
We don't need 3 tiers. It's just a 2 tier.
Are we sure that's
thing.
not Pohatu?
His worst enemy, Anakin Skywalker.
No.
No.
He's
He's the Anakin's worst guy. Yeah, I was like, the sand has nothing to fear from Anakin. The sand don't give a crap. Anakin, thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen. David, that was for you. But Anakin's the one who scares it. Sand doesn't care about anybody. But like the elements are just kind of dumb.
My one I still don't particularly like, but I have because I have to have them all. Psionic.
Oh, right.
I don't even really know.
I completely forgot that existed.
I don't even really know how to portray that power, let alone like it.
I think it's like.
It's like.
I think it's like mental.
It's telekinesis.
Yeah, it's mental powers. I think.
You've got to be.
You know what?
mental to
I'm
want
gonna look this up quickly because we're manga fans. We should know this, but Psionic is just one of those that's just like
I
it's
know it plays with the mind
always
and
been
has a
confusing.
That's what I call B canon, anyways.
It has
That is
minimal
true.
telekinesis abilities.
I mean that.
There's no sets of a psionic anything. Therefore, it's just something someone made up in a story. And by someone, I mean Greg.
No.
Hi, Greg.
Noah's fan story that got canonized.
Oh, that is again another freaking fan is screwing up TOA. Okay, I just like Greg does not screw up TOA. It's all these stupid fans who keep using stupid colors and adding. Okay, sorry everybody. I do like having all this. I like gold and blues, nice color scheme. But you guys are really screwing. This is why fans don't run franchises.
This way, you need to put more restrictions on winning entries.
But like there's a reason why you don't have fans like be control of what's called like franchises and stuff. They screw things up. This way you keep your fan fiction out of out of everything. Oh yeah, iron. Iron's another one. That's fine. I mean,
That one
drilling
is
metal.
overpowered.
It's another one that uses lots of grays.
Yeah, but at least they have like the oranges,
least
like
it's
burnt
rusty
orange,
this
rust.
way.
Like there's a distinctive way you can make it look different, which I'm fine.
Like rusting iron. That doesn't sound good, actually.
Then you think people who control metal wouldn't have this rusted color, not necessarily rusted. Okay. Psionic. The Matoran used Psionic is represented by the Matoran prefix C. Examples: creating illusions that can fool all 5 senses, unleashing mental blasts of energy, having a limited mind. So it's basically all mind-related stuff.
I do believe the term psionics is
Which-
referred to mental stuff.
And it's just like, okay, mind stuff is like,
So a new as mask and a human power.
I just like.
Is there something about consuming the dreams of other beings?
Wait,
I
what?
think.
Wait, I missed something. Consuming the dreams of. I think that's a particular character who has the power of
Oh,
psionics, not a TOA. A
Yeah,
TOA
a
probably
Nona
could.
exclusive.
Who's a Nona again?
The thing that gold being fights and traps in the world. It's on my tail.
Okay, that. Yeah, so it's like.
I'm surprised how long.
I don't know. Psionics is just like. I just always just felt like the power was just. And like. Mental abilities. I'm like, that's not really an
It's
element.
hard on my brain.
You can't shoot a blast of.
It also sounds just a little OP when you think about it, even compared to just other barnacles.
I mean, to be honest, all the elements when you think about it can be a little too OP if
I
you
mean,
really think about it.
Taking gravity out of the mix, everything
Oh,
is
gosh.
biomechanical, aka mixed with metal. You got a TOA that can control metal. Yeah, that's not OP at all.
Yeah, they're kind of OP, but like enough the iron like really don't show up in the story at all. They're only referenced, so it's like whatever.
But just remember, guys, fire consumes all.
I
has-
can feel the power. Thank you very much.
Has no brothers.
But yeah, no, it's like Psionics. Like I do like that.
Fire has no brothers, but I have a few.
I do like that at least one one element does use gold that. Actually, wait, do I like that? Do I like the fact that another element that uses gold that isn't light? I know it's only partial psionics that use gold. Because on one hand, that makes a total light a little less fantabulous looking, but at the same time, it is a nice color combo. I don't know. I mean, the fact that that TOA of light isn't just gold. I mean, let's be honest. The only reason why it's gold and white is a set, but that's how most of this goes. It's
But the
sets.
movie portrays all.
But let's be honest. They probably if Lego had the ability at the time, they would have just made him like gold. There would have been no secondary color. It would have just been gold. Gold.
They would have done it for him, not with Rocka first.
Or he would have been a rainbow colored TOA with all the colors of the rainbow, just like Joseph in the rainbow jacket. Sorry, I went a
This
little
is like a
something
good
there.
time to end the podcast.
There, yes, is a coat
We're
of
just
many
about
colors, and when you hold a prism up to the light, it becomes a rainbow. But
So you need another TOA of light to go behind Takanu with a shine him.
gold is
Well, it's
TOA
the
of
good
light.
color.
It's the good color.
And then
We'll settle for yellow.
And then yellow is a TOA of life or stone. It's got life or rock. Like the most opposite form of life. Like rock is like as far away you can get from life as you possibly can.
I don't know, my pet rock is full of it.
And actually on that, oh yeah, and then also the annoying things about TOA. Takanuva. They made him big. I'm annoyed about this. It's silly.
Yeah, I have like a standard size in my head, and the originals and the Nico are already kind of
Pushing it.
pushing it, but Takanuva really. I do not approve of making TOA Titan sized.
And we're not even getting to the fact that he's, not gold.
Yeah, see, I've had Peel mention this, and I think you mentioned before. There was a set in 08 that should have had an alternate color. Instead of Jet Tracks being yellow, they should have had a gold version of Takanuva. That would have been
That would've
awesome.
sold like
I've
hotcakes.
heard like you brought this up. I think other people have come across it. Is it common?
I came across that somewhere on the internet.
I don't know. I recently heard it on BioTube's podcast like a week ago. Or not a podcast. Not a podcast. They were doing a live stream and they were bringing that up.
Did
Or
you
was it
make
them or
yours-
was it?
Did you paint blue
Tammy.
ones or the actual?
Actually, I don't remember who it was. I've watched a lot of stuff on YouTube and I don't remember who I hear stuff from. But at least I can say there's at least one TOA that has purple, and I am happy about it. I mean, it gives you very
It's
few
not
limited.
Earth.
I mean, it gives you very few limited parts to work with. But gravity is an element that works well. I mean, gravity. I know exactly what gravity was at as an element because the Bohr call. They basically like magnetism, gravity, sonic, plasma, electricity, all the other elements of Bohr call ended up being that. Now I will say this: they should not have made plasma an element. They should have done was make plasma acid like the green Bohr, so it's a little less super powerful heat and actually just more of a corrosive material. Like plasma should have been acid. I think would have been a bit better. What you guys agree?
I never thought too hard. They were kind of the same thing in their younger years. They just melted things really well.
Well, yeah, because as a kid I had no idea what plasma
A
was.
TOA of acid doesn't sound very good, but a TOA of plasma kind of does
Okay.
sound better.
Well,
That's
plasma.
just a subspecies of Shadow Toa, Gerard.
Well, yeah, plasma sounds better as a word, but when you think about like the
Green
abilities of
Borg
the
was
elements, plasma's like basically super hot stuff and just like is super
Acid
powerful.
was already
Acid
taken too.
by what?
The green Borak.
Exactly.
Yes, and they used other Borakal powers.
I'm just saying they should not have gone for plasma. They should have gone for acid
No.
instead of stealing a Borakal's color.
But like the Borakal did not take any of the Borak.
No, they didn't. I'm saying a TOA of plasma. They because all TOA gravity, TOA sonic, TOA electricity.
I got you.
So yeah, thank you, thank you.
Thank you very much.
You're welcome. You're welcome very much.
All right, Elvis impersonators, get out of here. Get your hairdos and all your fancy dance moves out of my turf. Okay, I don't know.
Well, if I can't do
We'll do.
Elvis Presley, how about Johnny Bravo?
No. Yeah, but needless to say, there's a lot of like little things like with TOA that is rather annoying. Speaking of TOA is annoying is that Glatorians can get elemental powers. They're
I
not.
do know.
Mad Nui, you're a liar. They are not TOA heroes.
They just have the heart of a true Toa.
Yeah, well, Mad Nui's an idiot sometimes.
And years of a bloodthirsty warrior.
Now, don't get me wrong. If Michael Dorn came up to me and told me I had the true heart of TOA, that would be the greatest day of my young life. That'd be amazing. I would be the one going up to Michael Dorn and be like, Michael Dorn, yes, I love you in Star Trek. I love you. Can you quote one line for me? No, wait, what would that be? Can you say you have the heart of a true TOA? And he'd probably have this look of like, that sounds familiar. I feel like that's something within his life that he just doesn't really remember. Speaking of, and then TOA Mad Nui is a set. Let's be honest, the 9 was just a name for a title to make him sound cooler. It was just a set more of a collector than anything.
It was just there to give us fans a gold Ignica.
Actually,
It took them long enough.
I almost think what they should have done, just quickly think about TOA and sets. Lezovic, they should have made him a different element. Like, just a new element altogether. I like that he's known as like another TOA of air, but I'm just like, the only TOAs that they've basically made other elements for, they made Lekon and Norik for fire, Iruni and Lezovic for air, and then like all the others get gypped.
Let's be honest, it wouldn't have taken much to make him a Toa of the green.
That's kind of one thing. It's like, you made him TOA plant control, being underwater with seaweed. That would have been, I think, worked well enough. I mean, they made a set and basically went after him and just found him to be green. They weren't really doing colored combos, and maybe they made him fully green because he was different colored from like Kongu or Halley. Actually, that's probably why they just, I don't know. But that's been just a rambling off TOA in general. Like I said, I think we all have a little bit of gripes about certain canonical thing about TOA that are a little annoying.
Really, this whole podcast was just about complaints about Toa.
We've
Don't get me wrong.
Stuff.
I love my uncle. I love TOA. But when you actually have to follow canon like to a T, you kind of start bashing your head. Don't get me wrong. I have all the elements of TOA in their proper color. Sonic is the only one I have deviated from. Just because I have basically a version of every element in the TOA Nuva body, like that style of build. However, this magnetism, the only gunmetal parts I can get on the person was the armor. So if I had him, the Earth, and Sonic all in their proper colors, they would look so much alike. I'm like, no, I'm just giving silver to Sonic. I'm willing to bite the bullet on this one. The rest, I have at her. And so I have a bunch of other extra elements. And I even have a TOA, of light and shadow. Which I guess I know there's technically only one TOA of light, but it's my own universe, so I can do that. And plus they're from a different
It's called
alternate reality.
head canon.
Plus they're from an alternate reality. So, hey, maybe sometimes you viewers will actually get to learn about my Bonk universe, because I am planning to post videos at some point, basically slowly explain my Bonk world, different aspects of it. So if anyone's curious about that, stay tuned for the next decade or something. Maybe I'll get to it. But yeah, this has been a rambling about or slash complaining about TOA. Yeah, thank you guys for joining me for today. Well, we will be back here next week. As always, I've been your host Onvermel. This has been the TOA Podcast, and we are retiring from the night.